Welcome back to SetPoint. You know, I work with a lot of clients, and one of the biggest questions is, hey, if I make this investment, is it going to be a good deal for my company? So Joe, the biggest thing I find out when I go out as the sales guy for SetPoint and meet with different clients is they're always wanting to know, hey, how much does that cost?
Clark, to answer that question, let's talk about what a company does. Why does your customer's company exist?
Well, they exist because hopefully they're making profit and can stay in business.
Exactly right. The reason why we have businesses is to make money. The most important thing our equipment can do for a client is to help them make more money. How much money are you going to make relative to your investment in our equipment? Basically, all we're doing is we're saying, here's how much we're going to invest in a new investment, and we compare that to the future benefits. Now, on our website, we're introducing what you talked about earlier, the ROI calculator. ROI stands for return on investment. So if you can figure out the initial investment, which they're asking for you,
right,
the cost, they need to figure out the benefits of those costs for a several-year period. With that information in hand, your customer can go back to the finance people and show them the financial benefits of our equipment. And the issue here, the biggest challenge is going to be estimating the benefits, figuring out what you're going to get out of that equipment. And that's something that your engineers or the people that your customers should be uniquely able to do because it's their process that you're working with. We're providing this ROI calculator so that once you get those estimates and you feel comfortable with them, you and your customer can get at the numbers and figure out if it makes sense. The ROI calculator is a way for our customer to measure the quality or the value of the automation tools that we're providing to them. If you look at the inputs first, you have an estimated equipment cost. Really, that is the total cost of the automation that they are putting in place. But the automation equipment cost or the estimated equipment cost should include not just what we charge them, but all the costs, installation, support, everything associated with getting that equipment put in place. We're going to put in $1.25 million or $1,250,000 for that piece of equipment. Okay?
Man, that's cheap.
Oh, it's a bargain.
Yeah.
You'd be crazy not to buy that.
Yeah,
really.
For sure.
Now, the second thing you want to do is figure out what the annual benefit is financially. So how much are you going to save when this equipment is up and running? So let's assume the annual benefit on this particular piece of equipment is $767,000. The next thing we want to measure is how many years are we going to be able to use this equipment and get that benefit. Pretty simple number. 5 years is what we're going to use for our example. How long are we going to be able to use the equipment on the product that we're producing with our automation?
Okay, got it.
Okay, now the last line on there is that we need to put in is our annual minimum interest rate. Really what that represents, Clark, is the minimum amount of return that you need to get on your equipment. For our model that we're using today, we're going to put in 12%, which is probably a pretty good rule of thumb number for a lot of businesses.
Okay.
Now once we've got those numbers in, we hit return and we process and we can get a report. And the report will give us 3 different results. We'll get a net present value, a payback in years, and an internal rate of return. Now, shockingly, this particular project is a no-brainer for your customer. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, really.
I
wonder if we cooked the numbers there on that one.
No, I'm just saying that, usually, very rarely does our equipment not provide a great investment for our customers. First, let's talk about net present value. This is the one that can be very confusing to some people, but it's really quite straightforward. Now, our results here is $1.5 million. And what that is saying is, if I take the initial investment that we put down, the $1.25 million, and I put it in this investment and get the returns that we've estimated, the $767,000. If I put in the annual benefit of $776,000 for 5 years, what that is saying is that I will generate, in today's dollars, $1.5 million more than I would have made over those 5 years if I had just left it in a 12% investment. Now the second measure we have here is payback in years. This is very subjective, and frankly, as a financial analyst, we don't like payback because it doesn't consider the 12%. It just tells you how long does it take to get your money back. Well, in this case, it's a 5-year investment, and we get our money back in 1.63 years.
Man, so everything after that's gravy.
Exactly. Now finally, the last number is the internal rate of return. And simply put, this is a calculation of the percentage return that this investment yields. So what we're saying is if you invest that money, the $1.25 million, on this particular project, you will get a 54.3% return on your money. There's a lot of automation that we produce that can create those kinds of returns when you're talking about all the different savings that come from it. When you take it into account, you can make great returns on this equipment. So that's the real trick, isn't it? Figuring out the return. Because at the end of the day, if we can help our customers become more profitable, you are more successful as a salesperson, and we at SetPoint are more successful as a business. And of course, our customers will always be more successful.
SetPoint is the leader in turnkey lean automated solutions. For over 17 years, we've been providing lean automated solutions for a broad variety of industries.
Boy, Carl's hot.
Way.
Shut up.